Back live for historical matchup number 97 on Out of the Park Baseball 20. And if you're from Chicago or familiar with Chicago baseball, we have a special treat for you this time around. The random draw always brings us intrigue, and it does exactly that this time. Two good teams from Chicago's past and two teams that will fire up the rivalry between North and South. The first team we see here are the 1994 Chicago White Sox, led by Gene Lamont. Now, this team was in sole possession of first place in the AL Central before the season was called due to the strike in '94. So the what might have beens are out there, but the Sox had a great year in '94, much like the Expos did, for example. And good old Frank Thomas was .353 with 38 homers and 101 ribbies in only 113 games. .487 on-base percentage. This might arguably be or have been one of Frank Thomas's greatest years. Indeed. 34-year-old Tim Raines is on this team. If you looking for familiar names, Lance Johnson also on this team with his 26 steals, 14 triples. 35-year-old Julio Franco hit .319 for this team as well. Ozzie Guillen's on this team, and Robin Ventura still playing a solid third base. So a very balanced, good lineup by the Sox, led by the anchor that was Frank Thomas. The pitching, pretty good as well. Blackjack McDowell had 6 complete games. He pitched 25 starts during that short in the year. Alex Fernandez, Wilson Alvarez, and Roberto Hernandez out of the pen, although the bullpen was kind of a work in progress. This Sox team, very good, very solid. It all came together, and really was looking forward to seeing how this team might finish as their fans were. It just never happened. But they're here now, and any opponent they get has a formidable lineup and roster to contend with. So who other than to play this team than the Chicago Cubs? And we move to their heyday here in the mid-'80s. It's 1985, where the Cubs now will be the opponent. They're a year removed from their magical season of '84. '85 was not obviously as successful. They only won 77 games, but it was largely due to injuries, which will come into play here. But the names will be familiar, especially for me. This is my era of growing up and following this exact team. Of course, Ryan Sandberg, .305 with 26 home runs, 83 RBIs, 54 steals for Sandberg. Led the team in WAR. So Sandberg definitely the star. Leon Durham hit 21 homers with 282 average, got on base at a .357 clip. And Keith Moreland hit 14 long ones with 106 RBIs. A good year for Moreland, hit .307. Jody Davis, Sean Dunston, Ron Say, Sarge Matthews. A lot of the magic of '84 still here, although obviously the result's a little different. A 40-year-old Davey Lopes even getting into 99 games. For the pitching, the Cubs definitely had their injuries in '85. Dennis Eckersley, I guess, could be considered the ace here. He got the most innings, but nobody over 200 innings, which will let you know almost nobody. I believe this year the Cubs actually had their entire rotation on the injured list at the same time, probably around June of that year, if I remember correctly. But you still had Trout, Sutcliffe, Sanderson, and the Hall of Famer Lee Smith, who can close out just about any game. So two very memorable teams, two very memorable eras, and two big rivals going at it here, which should make just for an exciting time here for this best of 7. As the Sox and the Cubs go at it with two of their better sides. And the Sox will have the home field advantage. They'll get the first 2 at New Comiskey Park, while Wrigley Field will host the middle 3. Pitching-wise, the opening game has the stellar matchup of Dennis Eckersley against Jack Black McDowell. Hope you're prepared. Hope you're ready for the rivalry of rivalries between the Crosstown Classics here of the Cubs and the Sox. For this time, a lot at stake. The team that moves on. The team that loses is gone for good. So this should make for an exciting series. Looking forward to seeing how it plays out. So let's get ready for game one. Head out to New Comiskey Park as the Cubs and the Sox from 85 and 94 open this series. Moving to the cell here for the opening game. And we are top second here. Gary Matthews facing Jack McDowell to lead it off. McDowell delivers, and Matthews will hit this one deep to right. This one is just over the wall. A line drive opposite field that just gets over. That ball didn't have much height, but lined itself out, and the Cubs get on the board first through the Sarge. 1-0 here in the second inning. Great pitching matchup. We'll move bottom five. Robin Ventura facing Dennis Eckersley. The shift on. Nobody out. 1-0 Cubs. And Ventura will hit this past the shift for a base hit up the middle. So Robin leading off the fifth with a single. And here's Tim Raines. Raines will lift this one to right. Coming in hard there to make the play is Moreland. That'll bring up Ron Karkovice, the catcher. And Karkovice hits it deep to right, way back there. This ball at the track and gone. Ron Karkovice brings the Sox fans to their feet with a 2-run home run off of Eckersley. Unexpected by the catcher, but 420 happy feet for the Sox. 2-1 now, the lead. We move bottom sixth. Frank Thomas with 2 on and nobody out. A big spot for the Sox. I'll play at second. To no avail. Eckersley to Thomas. Thomas hits it deep to left. This has got a chance. It is way gone. The Big Herc with a 3-run bomb to left field, and 2 long home runs have opened up game one for the White Sox. What a bomb by Thomas. 5-1 Sox. Here's Sandberg, top of the 8th inning.
Program, Nuggets, program.
And Sandberg lifts one deep to left. This one's got the distance. This will go. A solo shot for Ryan. And it's 5-2 now. Aaron Jackson, Dick Ruthven facing off against each other here. Bottom 8, 5-2 the score. This one's lifted deep to left. This one's got a chance. It will go. Aaron Jackson with a home run to cancel out Sandberg's shot. Another long home run here at Comiskey Park. It is 6-2 now. Top of the 9th, Kirk McCaskill facing Sean Dunston with 2 outs. McCaskill will get Dunston the ground to short. Guillen has it, throwing the first in time. And the Chicago White Sox take first blood here, winning the opener 6-2 at home. Jack McDowell gets the win. He pitches into the 8th inning. Dennis Eckersley got hit hard. He took the loss. Ron Karkovice opened things up nicely for the Sox in the 5th with that 2-run homer. And Frank Thomas with a 3-run bomb in the 6th to really get the Sox on their way. They end up taking this one 6-2. Darren Jackson also went deep there. And the Sox do a number on the Cubs in that first game, take the lead in the series, and get the juices flowing for some good competition and some good long ball hitting. As we saw a number of home runs in that opener, let's see if game 2 is any different. Scott Sanderson is going to take the mound for the Cubbies. He's 37 years old and still pitching well. And Wilson Alvarez will face against Sanderson for game 2. We'll see if the Sox can take the 2-0 lead or if the Cubs can even things out. So let's head out again to the new Comiskey Park and see what game 2 has in store. So actually, Scott Sanderson is on both rosters. So actually, the 37-year-old version is on the White Sox, not on the Cubs. So The younger version, of course, starting for the Cubs as their number 2 starter, so correction on that. But let's move live here to Comiskey for game 2. We're in the top of the first. Davey Lopes facing Wilson Alvarez. Start the ball game. Capacity crowd here on the south side. And Davey Lopes with a long drive to center field. This one might go. A leadoff home run by Davey Lopes to get the Cubs off on the right foot, right off the bat. It's 1-0. Davey Lopes showing rare power to left center. He got all of that one, 403 feet. Sanderson with a 1-0 lead here facing Greg Raybeck in the third inning with nobody out and Guillen on first. Then there's a ball, so Sanderson walks 2 men here for an ongoing White Sox threat. Lance Johnson at the plate. Johnson faces strike 3 there. Sanderson got him looking, fooled him on that one. That one was right down the middle. And Jackson at the plate, who homered in game 1. Jackson muscles this one to the opposite field, but going out there is Moreland. He makes the grab, so 2 outs here for Frank Thomas, and the big White Sox star has a chance here to do more damage. They work around him, as Thomas often does. He walks, and that will load the bases here for the White Sox in the third inning. And Julio Franco, a big chance here to get this game open, and Franco pops it up. That should be playable. Lopes has it, and the Cubs get out of the jam. We'll move now top 4. Gary Matthews with 2 on, nobody out. Alvarez in a jam. Sarge will hit this one to center, but should be easy pickings out there for Johnson. And the tag made by Sandberg to go to third. A mistake. Johnson throws him out. Rhino, I don't know where he thought he was going, but that was an excellent assistant out by the White Sox center fielder. So the Cubs run into an out. And Thad Bosley now up there with 2 outs now. And Bosley goes to right. That'll get through. Run around third. He's going to try to score. Throw to the plate is going to be cut off. And Bosley with an RBI single scoring Leon the Bull Durham. And it's 2-0 now, Cubbies. Sanderson continues to pitch very well. Franco now up there representing the tying run with a man on here in the 6th. And that's hit to third. Run around double play by the Cubs. Lopes over to Sandberg, over to Durham, and the Cubs and Sanderson continue to impress. Bottom 7th now, Tim Raines. It's a 2-hitter for Sanderson so far. Raines will make it a 3-hitter as he singles to the opposite field. Might be the secret today for the Sox, going the other way. Here's Karkovice. Still only a 2-run game. Karkovice hits it to short. That play's going to be made. Throw to first. They just get the catcher. Runner advances. Good stretch by Durham. Top of the 8th. Still 2-0. Keith Moreland facing Dennis Cook. Donk hit this one into the hole. That'll get through for a 1-out single for Moreland. We'll move bottom 8th. Aaron Jackson still facing Scott Sanderson, who continues to control this game. This one lifted, however, deep to left. That's got some carry, and that will go. Aaron Jackson with his 2nd home run of the series. He hits a solo shot deep to left center. It's 2-1. Sanderson might be laboring now, and this game has just got a lot tighter. A 2-out homer here. And Frank Thomas now facing Sanderson. Bottom 8th. Jim Fry stays with him. And that's hit to short. Should be playable. Dunston makes the play. The Cubs with a 1-run lead. We move bottom 9th, and none other than Lee Smith coming on here. Trying to shut down this win for the Cubs. Julio Franco at the plate. Right-hander ready to deliver. And this one's hit up the middle, so Franco with a big leadoff single to put the pressure on the Cubs. Just the start they wanted here. Now the winning run comes to the plate, and Robin Ventura. 2-1 ball game. Shift is on.
Strike three.
Ventura, however, strikes out. Lee Smith got him there. Forkball it looked like. Tim Raines now at the plate. Raines will go to third. Play made by Lopes for 1. They try to turn to 2, but Raines too speedy. They do get the lead man, however. 2 outs now. Device up there, still representing the winning run. Tying run in Tim Raines on first with much speed, so extra bases could tie this up. Here's the delivery. This is hit again. The third should be playable. The short way for Lopes and the Cubs. With a brilliant, masterful pitching outing by Scott Sanderson, win Game 2 here 2-1. Much to the contrast of Game 1. Game 2, very tight, very low scoring. And the Cubs even this series impressively. It was Sanderson, the younger version of Sanderson, 8 strong innings, 1 K, but that's typical Sanderson, who likes to work the weak contact and deception. Allowed only 1 earned runs, 4 hits. Wilson Alvarez pitched well, but is hung with the loss. Davey Lopes with a home run there to lead off the ball game that put the Cubs on their way. And Lee Smith closing the door in the 9th as the Cubs shrug off a Game 1 loss and come back in Game 2 and tie the series. And all the action now going to turn to Wrigley Field, pre-lights Wrigley Field, where Alex Fernandez is going to come into the hostile environment to face Rick Sutcliffe, the Cubs' famous starter, and those 2 guys will battle here in Game 3 as the Crosstown Classic now has become best of 5, with the Cubs regaining home field advantage. So let's head out to Wrigley, Game 3, and the excitement coming up next. There we are, live from Wrigley Field. Ron Karkovice up there against Sutcliffe. We're at the top of the 2nd inning. No score. 2 outs in the inning. This one's hit the other way, deep to right, the other way for Karkovice, and that ball's going to carry out of here. Ron Karkovice deep to right field. His 2nd home run and a solo shot here in the 2nd inning to put the Sox up 1-0. See if we can change this view a little bit. Here we go. Bottom of the 3rd, Sean Dunston up there with Alex Fernandez on the mound. Nobody out. Dunston will take ball 4. There's a rarity. Rarely see Dunston walk. And speed on the bases for the Cubs. It's 1st and 2nd with Sutcliffe up there who can swing the bat a little bit. Nobody out. Sutcliffe puts down the bunt. Karkovice has got it. He'll go to 1st. Runners advance. So with 1 out, the Cubs here in the 3rd inning have a rally. Davey Lopes at the plate. Oops, however, is late on that pitch and he'll strike out. Up fastball he couldn't catch up to, and Fernandez now facing Thad Bosley. Bosley strikes out. So Fernandez works out of this jam, and the Cubs come up empty-handed in 3rd. 1-0 Sox isn't scored. We move bottom 4th. Cody Davis at the plate. 2 outs, 1 on. And Davis lines a single past the 2nd baseman into center field. Leon Durham moving to 3rd. And the Cubbies have runners on the corners with 2 outs. And Bob Denier at the plate. Denier will hit this one to short. That's going to be a tough play and no play. Denier much too fast there, and Gian had no play to make, and this game is tied at 1. Denier infield single scores a run, and Dunston back up there, and Dunston hits it to 3rd. What a nice diving stop and play there. Ventura showing off the leather with an excellent play to end the inning. Diving, getting to his knees, and throwing out a speedy Dunston. We'll move to the 5th. Ozzie Guillen at the plate. Ian goes the other way left. This will drop in there. So the Sox have runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 outs for the big hurt. Frank Thomas now at the dish. Thomas will go to short. Dunston can't get it. That ball gets through. Runner's going to hold it 3rd. We got the bases loaded. 2 outs here for the Sox in the 5th. And Robin Ventura facing Rick Sutcliffe in a big spot. Fans into it. Ventura hits this one to third. Play's going to be made there. Nice play by Davey Lopes, and the Cubs get out of that jam. 1-1 the score. We're in the sixth. Greg Graybeck up there with 2 outs. Graybeck will line this one to center. Karkovice is going to move to third, and the Sox with a 2-out rally here. The pitcher Fernandez now up there with runners on the corners. That's hit to Dunston at short. He goes the short way. High throw, but nice play by Sandberg. And that'll end that threat. So the game remains tied here at 1. We move bottom 6 with Moreland at the plate. Fernandez still on the hill. And Moreland will line a single left field. So the Cubs rallying here with a 1 out in the 6th inning. Jody Davis comes up. Jody goes the other way, deep to right. But a great play there. Nice catch by Jackson. Aaron Jackson with a nice play. The runner will advance, but that could have been a lot worse. A leaping catch out there in right. And Bob Denier now up with 2 outs. Denier will lift this one to center. Should be playable out there. Easy play for Johnson, and the Sox get out of a threat. So both teams playing well here in this 1-1 game. We knew it was going to be a tight series. That's exactly what these games are turning into. Davey Lopes up there with Ronsay on first, and Lopes gets in the one. This is deep to center. The wind might carry it, but Johnson's there to catch it in deep center. 2 outs now for Keith Moreland. Jose De Leon, the new pitcher. Moreland will strike out here in the 8th. Side retired. We move to the 9th now. Tensions rising as it's 1-1, and Lee Smith in there to face Julio Franco. And Franco will go to right. Coming over there is Moreland. He's got it. Lance Johnson at the plate. Johnson will hit it to short. Dunston with a good arm has a chance. He gets him. Sean Dunston with one of the better arms you'll see gets the play made there, and we'll move bottom 9th as Jody Davis is up there to lead off the inning. Roberto Hernandez on for the Sox. Jody strikes out. Swing and a miss there as Hernandez gets him, and Gary Matthews now at the plate. Hernandez delivers. Matthews goes the other way for a single to right with 1 out. So the Sarge. That's the 9th Cubs hit as Billy Hatcher has come on now to pinch hit. Man on. Hatcher will strike out swinging there, and that will do it. We'll move to the 10th. Ozzie Guillen now facing Steve Engel. We move to extras. And Guillen will hit this one deep to center. That's got some carry all the way back there. Great play in center field by Bobby Denier. Great speed, great movement. He read it right off the bat and makes a great catch to rob Guillen of extra bases. There's Frank Thomas. Thomas takes ball 4. He's on first base with 1 out. Robin Ventura now. Lights out as Engel comes sidearm and gets him there. Aaron Jackson now with 2 outs and a man on. Jackson lines it hard into the gap. This is hit well. Thomas is on his horse. He'll move to third. Here comes the Big Hurt trying to score. Throw to the plate. Is late. A 2-out clutch double here by Darren Jackson, who's having a very nice series, and Frank Thomas scores the go-ahead run. Hernandez now will try to close it in the 9th for the Sox. Davey Lopes leading off the 10th. 2-1 White Sox. But there's ball 4, so the Cubs 9-run on, and the winning run to the plate. Kirk McCaskill has come in here to replace Hernandez in relief. Bosley up there with only 1 out. 1-run game. 10th inning. This is hit to center. This should be playable by Johnson. He's got it. And here's Sandberg now, representing the winning run against McCaskill. And Sandberg give us some heroics. This is back to the mound. Plays made at second. They get the lead man there, so the White Sox are 1 out away from closing this out. Keon Durham, the last hope here for the Cubs. 2-1 game. 2 outs. McCaskill delivers. This is up the middle. That ball's going to get through. Sandberg's going to move all the way to third. Here comes the throw. Sandberg is safe. He makes it to third. A big risk there with 2 outs. Not really advisable, but he made it. And a huge spot here for Keith Moreland. The Cubs, the tying run 90 feet away. Winning run on first. 2 outs. And this one's lifted to left, but should be playable. Coming over there to make the play. Tim Raines and the White Sox hold on to win. They win this one in 10, 2-1. Another very competitive, well-played ball game. But the Sox beat their rivals at Wrigley in 10 innings, 2-1. It was Alex Fernandez who pitched well for the most part. Rick Sutcliffe had a good game as well. Frank Thomas scored the winning run there in the 10th as Darren Jackson drove him in. Roberto Hernandez got the win, and Kurt McCaskill came in and closed the door. The Sox now rebound in this series and take a 2-1 lead after some very competitive baseball by these two teams. It's been a very exciting and enjoyable series with some very good pitching and defense. This series will continue here at Wrigley as Jason Beret is going to go up against the left-hander Steve Rainbow Trout. Game number 4 is going to be crucial, of course, as the Sox try to take a 3-1 lead and the Cubbies try to tie things up. So let's get ready for Game 4 from Wrigley. So live to the action, top of the first inning, Frank Thomas up there facing Steve Trout. And Thomas goes deep left. This one's blasted pretty well. It's going to get a ball. Here's some of the Bluebirds here at Wrigley, but it's 2-0. He goes over the wall and left. So a great start for the White Sox here. We move on in second. Jody Davis against Jason Beret. Davis takes a pitch inside. That's ball 4. We got runners first and second for Bobby Denier. Nobody out here in the inning. Bob Denier to short. It's going to be the Guillen. Relay to first. Not in time, but they get the man at second. So the Cubs have runners on the corners for Sean Dunston. Dunston lifts one deep to left. This one's got a chance to go. It does. 3-run homer. Sean Dunston. Sean Dunston just gets that over the wall and puts the Cubs on top with a 1-run, 3-run homer off of Jason Beret. 3-2. Tim Raines now in the 4th, with the Cubs now only with 1 hit and have the lead, but Raines will single to center. Runner moving to third. Here's the throw, not in time, and we got runners on the corners, nobody out as the Sox looking to respond. Karkovice now in a big spot. He hits a drive to center field. That's going to get all the way to the wall. That'll tie the game and more. A 1-run double by Ron Karkovice. Second and third, nobody out. Trout in big trouble. He's facing the pitcher now. There, nobody out. Infield in. And this is hit deep to left. Would you believe it? Jason Beret, grand slam here at Wrigley Field. Out of nowhere, Beret just laid into that one. I don't believe it. Grand slam, Beret. 7-3 White Sox. An American League pitcher who has almost no experience at the plate just took Steve Trout out for a slam, folks. 7-3, 10-3 now, White Sox. We move bottom of the 6th. Chicago White Sox have opened it wide open. This one's hit deep to right by Graybeck. That'll get to the wall. That's going to score another run. It's going to be a triple by Graybeck. The Sox continue to dominate here in game number 4. It is now 11-3. Dunston up bottom of the 6th for the Cubs. He lines one down the right field line. That's probably going to play 2. It will. So the Cubs put a couple runs up here in the 6th inning and make it 11-5. It would very much appear like this game is out of reach. We move to the 9th inning. 21 hits for the White Sox. It's 13-7. Nobody out. The Cubs a little rally here in the 9th. Jody Davis facing Paul Ossenmarker. Davis strikes out here with 2 men on. Ossenmarker with the slider. John Dunston, the last hope here against Dennis Cook. Dunston will strike out, chasing one out of the zone. And the White Sox with an emphatic offensive display here in game number 4. They win it 13-7. The big story being Jason Beret, who folks hit a grand slam. Grant Thomas 3 for 4 as well with a home run. Dunston had a nice game for the Cubbies. Greg Graybeck 3 for 4 with double, triple, and 2 runs scored and 21 hits for the White Sox. Steve Trout, all kinds of trouble there early in this one. Even as the Cubs took the lead on the Dunston homer, it was the Sox who came roaring back and take game number 4 emphatically. And now they're in complete control here of this series, leading 3-1. One victory away from ending it. They will send Jack McDowell back to the mound here. Let's try to say that real fast. Jack McDowell back to the mound here, game number 5, to face Dennis Eckersley, a rematch of game 1, which the Sox took fairly handily. Can the Cubs survive and recover? A tough blow there in game number 4. The pitching needs to regroup. The Sox looking to put the final nail in the coffin. Let's see what happens out at Wrigley. Game 5 coming up. So Cub fans hoping their team can defend their home field. We're live here for Game 5 as Lance Johnson will lead off the action against Dennis Eckersley, who had a rough Game 1 and took the loss in that effort. Trying to keep the Cubs alive and be the stopper here. And Lance Johnson gets the Sox off to the perfect start here. He lines one into the corner. Johnson moving all the way to third. He gets a triple, a rare triple to left field. Lance Johnson to lead off the game here. The Sox off to the right foot. Ozzie Guillen will come up there now. Guillen will hit this one to short. Dunston has no play, and the Sox will take a 1-0 lead on the Guillen infield single. 2-0 Sox will move bottom 4th. McDowell facing Moreland with the man on second and 2 outs. Moreland will go back up the middle. That's going to get through for a single. Here comes a run, going to try to score. The throw to the plate is going to be late. Moreland will move to second on the throw. And the Cubs get on the board here, 2-1. We move bottom 5th. Bobby Denier up there. Denier will line a single to center to lead off the inning as the Cubs try to at least tie the game. Sean Dunston at the plate. He's had a good series. He takes another walk, so it's 1st and 2nd. Nobody out for the Cubs here in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Ron Say. And Say will line a single to left. That's going to get down. The base is loaded for the Cubs here in the 5th. Nobody out. Evie Lopes coming up. Jack McDowell in a big jam. And Lopes will hit this one high to left. Will this one be deep enough? Runner tagging. Here comes the throw to the plate. Close plate, but he's going to score. Denier uses his speed to tie this game and score. It's 2-2 now, with Thad Bosley following up here in the order. Bosley will go to left. This is shot right at the left fielder Raines for the second out. Ryan Sandberg now with 2 outs and 2 on. Sandberg will pop it up. This should be fairly easy. Lance Johnson coming over, but the Cubs find a way to tie this ball game at 2. And we'll move to the 6th now, where Darren Jackson is facing Jay Baller. And Jackson will hit this one into the hole. That's going to get through for a hit. So Darren Jackson continues his nice series with a single. And Tim Raines now the hitter. Raines hits this one off the end of the bat. That'll be playable by the center fielder, Janier. 2 outs now for Greg Graybeck, who had a nice game 4, and he comes through here in game 5 with a single. 2-out hit by Graybeck. Here's McDowell, the pitcher. We saw what Beret did as the pitcher yesterday. Let's see if McDowell can help his own cause. He hits it to third. Say grabs it. He'll fire to first. No magic here by McDowell with the bat, and the game remains tied at 2 here at Wrigley. McDowell now facing Jody Davis here in the 6th inning. Jody goes deep to left. This might be. It could be. It is! Jody Davis with a solo shot to left field. The Cubbies take the 3-2 lead on the Davis homer. Jody taking McDowell deep to left there, and it is 3-2 now. We move to the 7th. Reggie Patterson has come on in relief with 1 out to face Ozzie Guillen. This is hit to second. Sandberg has a play. The throw to first. Not in time. It looks like Sandberg had some trouble getting to that baseball. And Guillen, with some good hustle, gets the infield hit. Here's Frank Thomas. Thomas will hit this one to left field for a single. So the Sox with 1 out. Gathering a rally here. Julio Franco now facing the new Chicago pitcher, Ron Meredith. This one's popped to right. Moreland should have a beat on it. He does. 2nd out of the inning. Darren Jackson at the plate. Jackson's had a nice series, but he strikes out here on the Meredith pitch. 7th inning stretch time at Wrigley. Cubs leading 3-2. Trying to stay alive in this series. We'll move to the 8th. Larry Sorensen facing Tim Raines. Sorensen delivers, and this one's played by the Bull Durham. Out first for the out. 2 outs now for Graybeck. This is hit to second. Sandberg comes over. He'll make the play. Good relief from now we'll move bottom of the 8th with Sandberg facing Jose De Leon. 1 out. This one's hit to right, just fair for Sandberg. He'll make it to second base, it looks like, with a double. So Sandberg, a 1-out double, trying to give the Cubs some insurance. Jody Davis now up. He's homered already. Cubs have increased the lead 4-2, but they got 2 on now, and Davis will be really great. He goes up the middle, base hit. Here comes Durham rounding third. He's going to score, sliding in. The Cubs take a 5-2 lead. They mean business here in Game 5. We'll move now to the 9th. 2 outs. Ozzie Guillen facing Larry Sorensen, who's done well in relief. Guillen hits it to first. Durham's got it. He'll rush to the bag himself. And the Cubs win game number 5, 5-2, avoiding elimination, getting right back into the series. Jack McDowell and Dennis Eckersley battled well, but it is the relief units that get the decision in this one. After the 2-2 tie, the Cubs putting up 2 in the 8th inning. Jody Davis with that home run that broke the tie. He was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Sorensen closed it out and pitched very well in relief for the Cubbies. Eckersley gets the player of the game. He kept the Cubs in the game, and the Chicago Crosstown series here that we're enjoying is going to go back to the south side. We'll head to Comiskey for game number 6. The White Sox still in control here, 3-2, but the Cubs have every intention to push them here and see if they can get an upset and get Rick Sutcliffe on the mound in game 7. We'll see if that is possible. Frank Thomas continues to sizzle in the series, hitting .467 as of this moment. where Keith Moreland is at 471 for the Cubs. So some very nice hitting and defense, and really a well-played overall series. But now we get to the finish line. Now we get to the moment of truth as the Sox try to close out this series. It's going to be Wilson Alvarez against Scott Sanderson. Game number 6 from Comiskey Park. Let's see if the White Sox can close it out, or will the Cubs force a Game 7? Heading live now to Comiskey Park. Bottom of the second inning, we got Tim Raines up there with the runner on second base. Raines will go back up the middle. That'll get through. Tim Raines with an RBI single here in the second inning to put the Sox up 1-0 here at home. Ventura scoring, and Raines now moving to second with 2 outs and Ozzie Guillen up there. Guillen goes back up the middle. That'll get through. Tim Raines is rounding third. It's going to be 2-0 Sox. They get some clutch hitting here in the second inning to make it 2-zip. We move bottom third. Julio Franco at the dish with 2 outs again. And Franco lifts one deep left. This one's got carry. This one will go. A 2-run homer. Julio Franco again coming with 2 outs. The Sox extend their lead 4-0 as they've ambushed the Cubs here. It's 5-0 now. We'll move to the fourth. Wilson Alvarez facing Leon Durham, and Durham goes deep, hooking it to the right field corner, and that'll get over the wall. So Durham, his first homer of the series here coming in Game 6, trying to get the Cubs back into this must-win game. It is, however, 8-2. We are into the ninth. Cubs down 6, have runners on the corners with Jody Davis at the plate, facing Dane Johnson. 1 out. And Davis will go to third. Play is going to be made at second. Relay to first. Easy double play started by Ventura. And the White Sox have won the game, won the series here in 6 games. Celebrations here at Comiskey Park. The White Sox get the best of their rivals and do it in emphatic fashion here in Game 6 as the Cubs made 3 big errors. We're really never in this game. Wilson Alvarez gets the win, striking out 6. Robin Ventura 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. We had the home run from Julio Franco early. And the White Sox avoid the dramatics of a Game 7, come back home, wrap it all up, and continue the intrigue of the 1994 season with a very impressive and good series win. Frank Thomas hit .444 with 5 RBIs and 2 home runs. Ron Karkovice, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, hit .304. And Jason Bear with that grand slam that broke things wide open in Game 4 and 5 RBIs, a major moment in this series. Looking at the pitching, the bullpen of the Sox did well. Also, Alex Fernandez in his start did very well. Wilson Alvarez went 1-1 in his 2 starts, struck out 10, and Jack McDowell went 1-1. A couple outings for him, striking out 16 for the Cubs. No real offense to speak of here. I mean, Sean Dunston did hit .250 with 5 RBIs, but nobody with multiple homers, nobody really racking up the RBIs or runs. For the pitching, the Cubs tried to stay in the series. Sutcliffe pitched well in his game. Sorensen good out of the pen. But Sanderson and Eckersley really struggled, and Steve Trout especially was hammered in his only outing of the series in Game 4. So the White Sox are victorious. Who else but Frank Thomas is the MVP? The Big Hurt hitting .444 with 5 RBIs, walked 9 times. His on-base, an incredible .630. What a series for the Big Hurt. He scored 6 runs. And really was a key factor there from Game 1 on for the White Sox, who won an opener, lost, came back to Wrigley, and took 2 out of 3 before wrapping it up at home. So you got to love these rivalries of epic proportions, especially the crosstown ones, and this one was no different. But today it is the White Sox of 1994 defeating the 1985 Cubbies, 4-2. Hope you enjoyed the excitement presented by Out of the Park Baseball 20. That's Series 97 for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it, especially if you're a Sox fan, getting the best of their rivals. But that's all for now. We'll talk to you soon. So long, everybody.